A Canadian company's contentious plan to fight climate change. Early results.
That I would call a huge success.
And resistance.
We have drawn a line in the sand.
CTV National News with Heather Butts.
Good evening. As this country prepares to welcome the world's best soccer players, FIFA revealed today Canada will host 13 games during the 2026 World Cup. Officials rolled out the roadmap for one of the biggest sporting events on the planet, giving the massive fan base added excitement knowing when and where to watch. Matches will be held in 16 host cities within Canada, the U.S. and Mexico. 48 teams will take part over 5 weeks. A historic moment for this country as the men's soccer showcase comes to Canada for the first time. CTV's Kamal Karamali reports.
Will be held in Toronto.
And with that, the beautiful game made a historical stride in Canada. The first ever FIFA World Cup match on Canadian soil will be in Toronto.
We've had a lot of success in that stadium, especially in the World Cup qualifying, so we're super excited.
Toronto's unofficial ambassador making the pitch to the world.
Please, feel free to visit Canada. We are the nicest people you'll ever meet in your life.
Both Toronto and Vancouver will host 5 group stage matches. Team Canada will have its first match in Toronto on June 12th and then 2 in Vancouver on June 18th and the 24th. Both cities will host a knockout round game July 2nd, with Vancouver being home to an additional match in the next round.
I've already got my name on the wait list. We'll bring more people to the game. You'll advance the game more.
Hosting the games is expected to cost Toronto roughly $300 million, the city and province committing roughly 1/3. Ottawa hasn't chipped in yet, but the payoff expected to produce over $300 million in economic impact, create 3,300 jobs, and bring in tens of thousands of visitors. BMO Field says it's added more than 17,000 new seats, making the new capacity limit over 45,000. For Vancouver, the price tag was expected to be up to $260 million. The city has implemented a hotel tax until 2030, expected to offset most of the costs. BC Place will have a limit of over 54,000 fans.
They're estimating that's $1 billion probably into British Columbia. So this is something that's going to be just a fabulous opportunity.
And although there's a lot of buzz in Canada, it's actually the U.S. that'll have much of the spotlight during the knockout rounds, with the quarter and semifinals taking place in U.S. cities and the World Cup final in New Jersey on July 19th. Heather.
Thanks, Kamal. A high-profile investigation involving Canadian hockey players enters its next phase tomorrow. Lawyers for the 5 former World Juniors will be in a London, Ontario courtroom. A first appearance for sexual assault charges that have garnered international attention and put a spotlight on the sports culture. CTV's Heather Wright is in London with what to expect.
The first appearance is set for tomorrow inside this London, Ontario courthouse. The players are not expected to attend. Instead, their lawyers will speak on their behalf.
This is really just a check-in. It's an opportunity for everybody to say whether or not they have counsel. It's an opportunity for the Crown to indicate how long the disclosure process will take.
Each player faces 1 count of sexual assault, while New Jersey Devils center Michael McLeod faces an additional charge of being party to the offense. Carter Hart, Alex Fermenton, Cal Foote, Dylan Dubé, and McLeod all surrendered to London police late last month and have since been released. They're accused of sexually assaulting a young woman in a hotel room following a Hockey Canada gala in 2018. A case that was closed by the London Police Service but reopened in 2022, following outrage that a lawsuit filed by the alleged victim was quietly settled by Hockey Canada.
What happened between February 19 and this month is really unclear. And I think that as the case unfolds, the public will find out more and more about, in fact, what led to these charges and what led to the delay.
London police will hold a news conference tomorrow where those questions are likely to be asked. The players maintain their innocence and their lawyers say they will vigorously fight these charges.
This is not representative, these allegations, of what takes place in our game.
NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman was asked about this case during the All-Star weekend, saying the league will wait until the judicial process is over to make any decisions. Some believe the NHL should take a stronger stance.
I've yet to see anyone make any clear statement saying we will not tolerate this and there will be repercussions.
The court appearance tomorrow will likely be brief. It's not expected that any pleas will be entered, and it could still be some time until a trial date is set. Heather.
CTV's Heather Wright in London. The U.S. is vowing more retaliation for the deaths of American soldiers in the Middle East. At the same time, the U.S. uses force. It's also trying diplomacy as the Secretary of State travels to the region again. CTV's Jeremy Charon reports.
After a second round of strikes against Iranian-backed targets in as many days, today the U.S. is vowing further action in the Middle East.
We intend to take additional strikes and additional action to continue to send a clear message that the United States will respond when our forces are attacked or our people are killed.
U.S. and U.K. military forces struck dozens of targets in Yemen Saturday night and hit weapons they say the Houthis were preparing to launch against ships in the Red Sea. The mission carried out with the help of allied countries, including Canada. Just a day after American forces hit targets in Iraq and Syria in response to the killing of 3 U.S. soldiers.
We are continuing to go after their ability to hit us. And in the case of the Houthis, to hit international shipping. We are trying to take away their capability, make it harder for them to throw these punches. Again, we think we've achieved good effects in both rounds of these strikes.
U.S. officials maintain they are looking to de-escalate tensions in the region. Despite accusations from adversaries, they are fueling the conflict. Houthi supporters rallied